growl. Grunt. Big squeal. What's up? Sabaton Heroes is their new album, coming out on multiple days. Keith, represent. Yeah, it's their new album. Streaming on Spotify, that's where we listen to it. I think it comes out today in Europe, and March 20 or May 27th, according to Nuclear Blast website in America. So yeah, buddy, we're gonna talk about this, and what do you think, Queef?
This album is, before I say anything else, this album's not bad. This album is good. This is a good album. It's just, if I had to sum this album up in one sentence, to me this album sounds like Carolus Rex Part 2 is what it sounds like. You know, which Carolus Rex is a good album. I really like that album too. It's just that, like I said, a lot of points on this album sound a lot the same to Carolus Rex. I know the second song, which is No Bullets Fly, the chorus sounds really similar to Killing Ground from that album. What was the other one? Is it Inmate 4850? I think it was Inmate 4859. Again, it has like the main riff underneath the verse. Sounds just like the song Carolus Rex. And then one of the later tracks, again, sounds just like the song Carolus Rex in a way. And it's just like, that's just, I mean, besides that, but I mean, like, in general, this album has the same sound. The guitars really sound kind of the same. If not, the guitars don't have as much to them, if anything. This album sounds like maybe it's a little overproduced, you know, at least on, like, you know, the two albums that I'm most familiar with, which is Carolus Rex and The Art of War. You know, the guitar's got balls to them, and it, you know, it manages to you know, hit you pretty hard. Whereas, I don't know, the guitars never popped out to me on this album, and honestly, not a lot didn't pop out. You know, the drums didn't really stick out. The vocals, the singer sounds, I mean, he sounds the same. And he's not really trying. I knew his name. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But, like, he sounds, you know, he has the same vocal range that he's had forever. And he's not experimenting, you know. At least on Carolus Rex, he hit a couple, he went higher a little bit. It's like during the last chorus of the song Carolus Rex, he sings higher. And it's like, oh, he's changing his pitch. But, you know, that didn't really happen. Some of the songs that stood out was the first track, which was Night Witches, and then the last track. Those two tracks stood out the most. It was mostly because of the choruses. Those tracks were like the songs that I were looking for on, you know, from Sabaton, which is, you know, from seeing them live, you know, all the songs they played live. I was looking for those. But besides those two, there really wasn't any. I mean, nothing really sticks out too much. You know, like I said, Inmate 4859 was pretty cool. And then, despite what I said about it, and the same thing with No Bullets Fly. Like, besides, if you look past the chorus, the song's really cool. But, like, I don't know. It just didn't work. Like, they put a ballad. What was it? Ballad of the Bull. Yeah. Ballad of the Bull, and it didn't fit. I don't know. His voice didn't fit the kind of song they were trying to write. Because, again, he didn't change how he sung. What's his name? What's up there?
Joakim, I guess?
Joe.
They're
Joakim.
I don't know.
Joakim Brodkin. But I'll just refrain from making myself look like an idiot by trying to pronounce that. But it's like, again, he sings the way he always does, and you know, it's a ballad. You can't really sing the kind of the gruff way with a ballad, and there's kind of no guitars, and it's. I don't want to say this, but I mean it's kind of true. It's almost laughable. But I mean, other than that and those things, the album's not bad. The album has some catchy moments, and the solos are pretty good on the album. It's just that nothing is like, boom. There isn't like the Ghost Division or Gott mit uns or Primo Victoria or 40 to 1. There's no songs like that on this album really. But all in all, it's an okay album.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have the same feelings about this album as Keith does. It's just okay. I mean, every time I think about this album, I just think it's just okay. It's not bad by any means, but it just doesn't hit you at all. It doesn't really make you feel anything really, and I felt, at least with this album, and this isn't really the case with albums such as The Art of War or Carlos Rex or something. I felt like when they had something going that was really cool, it just kind of stopped prematurely, and it didn't really last as long. They didn't really capitalize on certain things that were just really cool, such as an epic voice chant or a guitar solo or something. It just felt like it just stopped. And one thing I felt was strange about this album is just how quickly it goes by. And usually that's a case of a good album, because you're just kind of lost in it, and then all of a sudden it's done because it's so good. But it was very weird, because this album's not necessarily bad, but it's not the greatest thing ever. This album just goes by like that. Before you know it, it's fucking done. But then the shame about that is that it kind of runs together, because some of the songs just don't stand out at all. Songs such as To Hell and Back or Resistant Bite are just amazing. I love To Hell and Back. It's probably my favorite song on this album,
I forgot about that one.
because it has this kind of folk metal influence in the lead on the chorus and stuff, and I would love for them to expand their sound in that way, adding a little touch of folk metal influence or something. And that's probably the biggest issue I have with this album, because after 7 Sabaton records, they seriously have the same exact sound as when they started. And I know most bands, you take Slayer or some band like that, the Black Dahlia Murder, they don't really experiment a whole lot, but they experiment enough. Or they just really take their sound and, I don't know, really, really perfect it. And I feel that Sabaton has their sound perfected of how they want to sound, and that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's awful to have a sound and keep that sound for 7 albums, but it's just the lack of experimentation that I feel kind of bugs me about this album a little bit. It just felt very cut and dry, a little bit copy-paste, but it's not a bad album. I know if any hardcore Sabaton fans out there watch this, they're going to shit all over us, and I mean, an opinion's an opinion, but I do think this album's not bad. The last 2 tracks, let me pull this again right. 7734 and Man of War are fucking phenomenal. They are so good. Like I said, To Hell and Back, Resistant Bite's really good. Night Witches is another really good one. Inmate 4859. There's some good songs on here, but none that really stand out to the point, like Keith said, of like a Ghost Division, 40 to 1, The Art of War, Prima Victoria, or something like that. And yeah, I mean, with the vocals, I feel, I don't know, I just feel that he's not really pushing himself at all. He's like, here's my range, I'm sticking with it. Which, it's fine. Utilize what you're best at. But I feel at times on here, I was just maybe expecting something different from him. Something that would push, his range to the next level or something. But it wasn't really there. In every chorus, he kind of has the same exact pitch, which I've noticed that on their past albums. And I'm just looking for something, a little bit of a change. I'm not saying that this band has an awful sound. They're unique in their own ways, with just this huge, epic sound and just singing about World War II and all types of wars and soldiers. And it's cool to talk about soldiers. It's cool to hear, a power metal band talk about something different besides dragons and fantasy shit or something. It's pretty fucking cool. But I'm looking for a little something extra, I guess. Take their core sound, and I'm looking for them to take it to the next level. It just wasn't there with this album. But and like Keith said, I felt a couple things were missing. On Carlos Rex, there's some really fucking good guitar solos, and there's some really good guitar leads, and I felt like that they didn't really stand out on here too much. I know the solo in the last song, Man of War, is pretty good, but then once again, I felt it ended very prematurely, where it should have went on another 4 measures or something. I don't know. It's just a couple nitpicky things I have about this album. Basically, just the lack of
innovation.
Yeah, a lack of slight innovation, and just things just seeming a little bit
business
the
as
same.
usual.
That's about it. But I mean, honestly, this isn't a bad album, and if you're a Sabaton fan, you'll like it. I enjoyed it. Sabaton is a fun band to listen to. You can't really listen to Sabaton and be angry or sad. You're gonna have a smile on your face. You're gonna have a fun time listening to Sabaton, and I'm really glad that we ended up seeing them, because this is a fantastic band. And this is a pretty good album. I just don't expect it to top anybody's album of the year list, except maybe that one dude that was at the show.
One guy that went ape
Oh,
shit.
probably top his list.
Best album of all time.
Yeah. But I do have to say, though, the album art for this album is fucking awesome. It is so
Oh, it is the same as my shirt. Awesome.
just about, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different. But
Yeah, I know the artwork for the special edition is even better. So definitely, they've always had really cool album art.
Oh, yeah.
And so, this is no different. So, I mean, there's some good Sabaton jams on here. Songs that when I put on Sabaton, I'll really want to listen to these songs. It's not a bad album. I'm just maybe looking for something that isn't there. And it could just be me. Maybe this was exactly what you're looking for from Sabaton, and that's fucking cool. It's cool. Balls and wieners in my mouth.
Balls and wieners.
Everywhere. What'd you give this album?
To keep with the whole, this album's not bad, this album's pretty good. I'll give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Yeah.
Solid 7.51 out of 10 for me. Mine's
IGN.
3 times more solid and 0.1 better. My score's better.
IGN.
Keith's fucking stupid, and I'm gonna go fuck Luke in the butt.